Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to our panel. Today we would like to present our final year project with the title Academic Dishonesty among degree students in UiTM Seremban 3.
My name is AMIRAH NADIAH binti MASRI.
My name is DANIA SYAZWEEN binti AL-AZMIMURAT.
My name is Intan Nabilah binti Ahmad Kamal.
Okay, next we go to the chapter 1. Background of the study. Bowers 1964 found that since the 1980s, the topic of academic dishonesty has been called epidemic, but research evidence shows that for many decades it has been so. Academic dishonesty is described as an dishonest conduct aimed at achieving a positive outcome in education, such as passed examination or an approved homework. June's 2011 states that academic dishonesty includes cheating, fraud, and plagiarism, the stealing of inventions, and other forms of intellectual property, whether it was published or not. A lot of studies found that most common academic dishonesty activities that happens in students are plagiarism and cheating. Studies found that 95.7% of students had occupied in some form of plagiarism. 96% had completed an assignment or task given with the help of other students. 93% had cheated in exams, 92% had falsified data, and 90% had copied from peers' assignment. Other studies found that 47% of students had committed academic dishonesty at the minimum once in 2014, 51% in 2015, 49% in 2016. The same study also indicates that the dominant aspects of academic dishonesty include plagiarizing references while finishing assignments and obtaining information via digital resources. Problem statement. 153 business students from different academic years concluded that business students may have found that some level of dishonesty is acceptable in some academic settings and also in business settings. According to UMP Vice Chancellor, Professor Engineer Dr. Wan Azharwan Yusof through the press in Sinar Harian, he said that if these symptoms of plagiarism are not curbed, it will affect the quality of the graduates born. Studies found that dishonest students may carry the same attitude into the working environment. There are 3 research objectives. First, to determine the level of awareness among degree students towards academic dishonesty. Research questions. What are the level of awareness among degree students towards academic dishonesty? Second, to identify degree students' perception of academic integrity. Research questions. What are students' perception towards academic integrity? Third, to identify the factors that lead to academic dishonesty among degree students. Research questions. What are the factors that lead to academic dishonesty among degree students? There are 5 research hypotheses. First, there is a significant relationship between male and academic dishonesty in UiTM Seremban. Second, there is a significant relationship between pressure and academic dishonesty in UiTM Seremban. Third, there is a significant relationship between personal attitude and academic dishonesty in UiTM Seremban. Fourth, there is a significant relationship between academic stress and academic dishonesty in UiTM Seremban. Fifth, there is a significant relationship between academic self-efficacy and academic dishonesty in UiTM Seremban. Scope and limitation. Scope. The study was conducted only for the involvement of degree students that are in a full-time mode in UiTM Seremban. As for limitations in this study, Since the study was conducted during the pandemic of COVID-19, the researcher has difficulty in terms of finding respondents because all the surveys need to be conducted online through Google Form. There are some respondents who are not willing to cooperate to answer the questionnaire. Hence, it becomes difficult for the researcher to collect data in the scheduled period. Significance of the study focused on students. Since academic dishonesty was always being associated with students, institutions can take note of all the findings since academic dishonesty can be fatal to the reputation of the institution. For students can benefit from this study as they will learn about the negative impact that will occur in the future since after graduate they will enter the real working sector.
Next, we move to the chapter of methodology. Okay, for the research design, the researcher have been used descriptive research design. The descriptive research design was used to describe the characteristics of population. This research also used cross-sectional studies since the data from the population are analyzed and all research variables are measured at a single point in time. Okay, next we move to the population and sample. For this research, the researcher have chosen all degree students from UiTM Seremban 3 that are come from three faculties which are FSKM, FSR and also FSPPP. There are 3,695 undergraduate students from these three faculties. From the population of 3,695 students, the researcher took the total sample for this study at 351 students. Okay, for the sampling method, the researcher have been applied stratified random sampling. This is because the population has been divided into faculties which are FSKM, FSPPP and also FSR. These sampling techniques assure representation the groups within the population. Okay, next we move to the summary of questionnaire. There are four parts in this questionnaire. For the part A, demographic contains of 2 items, and also next we move to the part B, which is lack of awareness content of 8 items. For part C, the student's perception towards academic integrity contains of 10 items, and for the last part, which is part D, the factors of academic dishonesty that have been divided into 5, which are pressure, personal attitude, academic stress, academic self-efficacy, and also academic cheating. Okay, as you can see, these tables show the description of the data that have been used in the questionnaire. Okay, next we move to the theoretical framework. Okay, the theoretical framework for the independent variable that have been divided as gender, pressure, personal attitude, academic stress, and also academic self-efficacy. For the dependent variable, the researcher chose academic cheating as our Y. For the data collection method, the data have been retrieved from the student by using questionnaire. The questionnaire have been distributed by using email that have been retrieved from HEA and also by spreading into the social media such as WhatsApp, Instagram, and also Twitter. Okay, the data analysis that have been used in this study, which are reliability, descriptive analysis, and also multiple linear regression.
Moving on to the next chapter, which is finding and analysis. In this chapter, I will present about finding and the analysis for the study. All the data were analyzed using the SPSS software. To test whether the questions are reliable and valid for the respondent, the researcher used Cronbach alpha. If Cronbach alpha is above 0.7, it indicates that the questions are reliable to the respondent. Based on the table, the researcher makes some adjustment for the section level of awareness and academic cheating in order to make sure the questions are reliable to proceed for the study. In this slide, there are 2 pie charts, which is first for the faculty and second for the gender. For the faculty, majority of the respondents come from the FSKM student, which bring 51.85%. Meanwhile, the list of respondents come from FSR, which is 11.11%. For the gender, The pie chart shows that the female are dominating with the percentage of 73.72%, and male brings the value of 26.78%. This table shows about the result of the descriptive analysis to fulfill the first objective. From the table, it can be found that most of the students agree that they know what is plagiarism, which means 3.8689. The highest mean is for item I know that if I break the plagiarism policy, I will face serious consequence, with mean 4.4644. Meanwhile, the lowest mean score is item plagiarism is acceptable if I have more important tasks to do, with mean 2.8121. It indicates that the most of respondents agree that they are aware of plagiarism. This table shows about students' perception to academic integrity. 33.6% students agree that working on assignment with others when lecturers ask for the individual work is a serious cheating. In contrast, 30.5% agree that copying some sentence from the other academic source such as books and website without using quotation marks or giving proper is not cheating. The others item are in a category moderate cheating. To fulfill the third objective, the researcher used multiple linear regression. Before conducting MLR, there are some assumptions that need to be fulfilled. First, linearity assumption. Based on the graph here, it shows that all the graph have a positive weak linear relationship between independent and dependent variable. Next, moving on to the normality assumption. Figures shows that all the points are lie approximately on the straight line. It indicates that the error terms are normally distributed. Moving on to the homostaticity assumption, the plot residual against predicted value shows that is a random pattern. It indicates that the variance of error term is constant. Next, for the independence of the error term, Darwin-Watson values is 1.846. It indicates that there is no serious correlation exists. Thus, the error terms are independent. Next, for the multicollinearity, all the tolerance values shows greater than 0.2, and VIF values also show small than 10. Hence, it indicates that multicollinearity does not exist in this variable. Lastly, for the outlier, figure shows that there exists normal outlier in Y, which are in observation 346 and 350. However, there is no extreme outlier in Y since the value is not exist negative and positive 3. Since there are exist outlier in independent variables, then it is important to consider whether the observation is inferential or not. Based on the Cook's distance, with cut-off 0.0116, there are 3 variables that exist the cut-off value. The observation are 95, 208, and 241. Therefore, these 3 observations is inferential, so they need to be removed from the data. For the DF fit, there is no observation that exceed the cut-off value. Same goes to the DF beta. Therefore, there are only 3 observations that need to be removed, which is observation 95, 208, and 241. After removing the outlier, this is the ANOVA table for the new regression model. This model is a good fit since the p-value is less than alpha. Table shows the value of R-square for the overall model was 20.9% with an adjusted R-square of 19.8%. A small size effect is reported by the model of variation in academic cheating is accounted by the linear combination of predicted variable, which is gender, pressure, personal attitude, academic stress, and academic self-efficacy. This is the regression coefficient for this study. Lastly, this is the hypothesis testing to check whether the independent variable has a significance to its academic cheating or not. In this study, we found that gender and pressure does not have significance to its academic cheating since the p-value is greater than 0.05. For gender, the p-value is 0.218 and for pressure 0.012. Next, for the personal attitude, academic stress and academic self-efficacy, this variable shows that the three observations have a significant toward the academic cheating since the p-value is less than 0.05.
Okay, for the last part, which are conclusion and recommendation. For the conclusion, the researcher conclude that majority of the respondents totally aware of plagiarism as they claim that they know about what is plagiarism is all about. The study also showed that they have a higher level of awareness toward academic dishonesty. Okay, next. The study also shows that the most students have average perceptions toward academic integrity. Lastly, the researcher also concluded when using multiple linear regression, it shows that the factor that leads to academics dishonesty among rigorous students only included of personal attitude, academic stress, and also academic self-efficacy. Gender and pressure proven to have no significance toward academic dishonesty. Okay, for the recommendation, for the future research, the next researcher should add more variable as this current study have a lower value of R-square. Next, the variables of faculty also should be added as a factor that leads to academic dishonesty to determine the sample more accurately. Other than that, future researcher also can use other methods to determine the significant factors that lead to academic dishonesty, such as logistic regression. In addition, for the future study, also can expand more on target location, not only based on one place only. Next, the future researcher also can re-evaluate the theoretical framework based on reading on the new findings. Lastly, the future researchers also can add more sample size in order to obtain results which are more valid, accurate, and also reliable. Okay.
That's all for today. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation video. Thank you.
Thank you.